stop, then they cry on Twitter. They stuck in the chat, I'm stacking my wins. They're playing pretend, I play for the ends. They hedge too late, I'm already gone. They're holding the bag while I double my run. They FOMO in, I exit with grace. They buy the dream, I own the place. We flip the risk, we ride the wave. They're holding tight, dig in their grave. We call the shots, we move like kings. They're stuck in fear, way too big. We run it fast, they crawl behind. We take the bread, they chase the signs. We flip the risk, we ride the wave. They hold it, hope we get paid. Back secured. They posting screenshots, I'm counting my cash. They flex in a trade while I'm on to the next. They act like they pros, but they caught in the trap. They follow alerts, I'm reading the map. I cut the losses, I never freeze. They let it ride, now they beg on their knees. They stuck in a cycle, they panic, they sweat. I'm cool as hell, taking my bets. They hedge too late, I'm already gone. They're holding the bag while I double my run. They FOMO in, I exit with grace. They buy the dream, I own the place. We flip the risk, we ride the wave. They're holding tight, dig in their grave. We call the shots, we move like kings. They're stuck in fear, way too big. We run it fast, they crawl behind. We take the bread, they chase the signs. We flip the risk, we ride the wave. They hold it, hope we get paid. They taking advice from a dude in his basement. I'm cashing out, every trade is amazing. They chasing dreams, I'm stacking my wins. They drown in the dip, I'm breaking the trends.
Oh man, that's rough.
We flip the risk, we ride the wave. They're holding tight, dig in their grave. We call the shots, we move like kings. They're stuck in fear, way too big. We run it fast, they crawl behind. We take the bread, they chase the signs. We flip the risk, we ride the wave. They hold it, hope we get paid. We get paid. We get paid.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where today is a beautiful Tuesday, February the 4th, the day after. I suppose we all survived the one-day trade war with Canada and Mexico, but now we might be getting into a trade war with China. The market doesn't know what's going on. We are set up for a large move today, larger than expected move. Volatility is expanding, basically, but we don't really know the direction. Going into market close yesterday, things were a little bit questionable. Right after the market close, things started to look really good. Not only did we have solid earnings beats, such as Palantir, which congratulations to all of you. I know some of you guys in here are big Palantir fans. I'm right there with you. Love it. It's crushing it. But we also got some good news really between Canada and really Trudeau, and then the U.S., obviously Trump. So there was some good news. But then around midnight, around 1 a.m, when we should have all been sleeping, but instead we were frantically checking the 1-second chart, we realized that maybe not the best things were going down between the U.S. and China. So fingers crossed, this is another 12-hour, 24-hour, 36-hour trade war, but we have some China stuff to talk about, and that's why we're seeing a little bit of a downturn in the pre-market and really post-market and pre-market, the extended trading hours. So I want to cover all that. Obviously, I wanted to get into some individual equities. Really, I want to focus on Palantir because not only is it a new all-time high, but it's done it in just such a dominant fashion. Absolutely destroyed. So I know, like I said, many of you in here are crushing it on Palantir, and the TLDR here is I don't see a reason for you guys to get out of your positions as long as the trend is this strong. Folks, if you are in it for a swing trade, for an investment, you're riding that trend as long as you possibly can. You're not just getting out at an arbitrary value because you're seeing a bunch of green. Remember, you have to think of your portfolio as a whole. You need these big winners to pay off the trades that maybe aren't so lucky, don't really go in your favor as much as you'd want it to. So if the trend is strong, Why would you leave the party when the party's still raging? It doesn't make sense. So congratulations that crushed earnings. We'll go over it. But the TLDR there is, if the trend is this strong and you're on the right side of the trend, why would you ever get out early? Does not make sense. So we have that to get into, some other individual equity news. And then I have some just other narratives that I want to keep you updated on of what in the world going on. So that's what we're going to do this morning. And then obviously the market's going to open up. I do want to remind you that at 10 a.m., 30 minutes into the trading day, we're going to get the JOLTS job report. So that's going to cause a little bit of volatility, a little bit of movement. It could cause the market to continue in whatever the morning trend is, or it could prompt a clear hardcore reversal. And then also, similar to yesterday, we could have a reversal at any moment in the day if we get an update between what's going on with the US and China. So obviously that's something that you need to be prepared for. In these types of environments, if you're trading a crypto, if you're trading an index, if you're trading an individual equity, these are the times where you clearly want to size down, because volatility and range is already so great that you don't really need to bet that much to get a nice return. You should also be using stop losses at this point at reasonable levels of market reversals, just because, similar to yesterday, we could get big pops or big drops out of absolutely nowhere, and you want to be able to react pretty quickly before it's too late. So I want to throw that out there as well. So we have a lot going on. We have a lot to discuss, a lot to get into. Quantum Mart. Big crypto news at 2:30. Please let me know what you're referring to. That might be something we want to dive in. Is there some sort of scheduled conference or something? Big crypto news at 2:30. Please share with the class what you're chit-chatting about. So I guess maybe there's big crypto news at 2:30. So we'll find out. Does anyone else know what Quantum Mart might be referring to here? Is there some sort of scheduled political discussion or announcement? The last crypto news I saw was that Eric Trump was attempting to pump Ethereum, basically just saying, hey, I'm buying some. And that was yesterday. David Sachs is speaking. So he's not only the crypto czar, but he's also the AR czar. Is this one a specific crypto discussion? We're going to be covering this, as you're going to see. But Trump just started a sovereign wealth fund, and there's a good chance that they put crypto into that. We don't really have many details. The major details, people are saying, hey, maybe the sovereign wealth fund's going to end up owning the US version of TikTok. Of course, we're going to be covering it. We have a lot to get into. So if you haven't already, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I know it's annoying to remind you, but every time you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notifications, as those total engagements go up, YouTube and Rumble, the algorithms end up promoting this show to more and more people. Obviously, I'm never going to ask you for a single dollar. You can watch all of this content for 100% free. So the only thing I would ask of you very kindly is don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, comment, turn on your notifications. Help me on the engagement side of the things. It would mean a lot to me. What about XRP? I don't know, dude. The XRP community is so funny. They just take everything so incredibly personally, and I feel like none of them have done even 4 seconds of research. They haven't done 4 seconds of research. It's an interesting community, and I fear for them. I think it's going to end very, very poorly. But hey, I'm not their mom, so hopefully they're making the right decisions. And I just pray that as soon as they get into good profit, that they're putting a stop loss in somewhere so it doesn't negatively impact them. But once again, I'm not their mom, so hopefully they'll be able to figure that out. With that being said, let's turn it over to the market. Right now, the SPY is pretty much just above the closing value. So are the Qs. Bitcoin trading just below 100,000, and Palantir up 23% in pre-market trading. Palantir closing out the day just below 84, looking to open up above 103, absolutely dominating in its earnings announcement. So we have a lot to get into, but first, stock futures fall as China announces retaliatory tariffs on U.S. imports. You've heard this story before. You heard it over the weekend. You heard it yesterday. That's what Canada said. That's what Mexico said. The market freaked out in the short term. And then within literally a day, we had the communication between Sheinbaum and Trump, and then Trump and Trudeau. And guess what? They bent the knee to Trump. They did exactly what they wanted, and then the market popped. So I don't know if this is going to happen again, or if it does, when it's going to happen again. But remember, these types of market reactions are outside the world of technicals, or they're outside the world of options flow. This is just a news-driven political thing. So you got to be on your toes for it, because the announcement, whether positive or negative, could happen at any moment in time. Remember, outside the world of technicals, outside the world of options flow, outside the world of tarot cards, dare I say it. It's a random event that at any moment could just be announced. So you got to be prepared for that. Trump pauses tariffs on Canada imports for 30 days after doing the same for Mexico. So this is exactly why the market started popping at 10:21 yesterday. We were trending down. We had lower highs, we had lower lows for about the first hour, and even the options flow was negative. And then we got the announcement that the call with Mexico's President Sheinbaum and obviously the US President Trump went well, and the details of it was basically they're going to wait for 1 month. Mexico's going to put 10,000 soldiers on the border to help with illegal immigration, to help with the drug trade, basically trying to squash it out. And the market liked that. They're like, okay, cool. We think it's going to go that way with Trudeau as well. And that's exactly how it went. So Trudeau's conversation with Trump happened later in the afternoon. And really, we saw the reaction in post-market trading, but pretty much the same thing. They're basically saying, hey, we'll help secure the border and we're going to help with these drug issues. So Canada and Mexico doing the same thing. And that's exactly why, if you look at the 30-minute chart here, we started to pump. Really, it was around 10:20. And then if you look into post-market trading, even up until about 6 p.m., very, very strong. Now, it started to get faded because of some of the things that we saw going on with China. Just in, China imposes a 15% tariff on United States coal and liquefied natural gas, LNG. U.S. President Trump's 10% on tariff on all Chinese goods officially takes effect. So we're getting into a little bit of a pissing match, a little bit of this version of the trade war. I guess we've gone from version 1 to 2 to 3. And I wouldn't be surprised, just to throw this out there. Remember, we haven't really gotten any major updates as it relates to the EU. So don't be surprised if we could get into version 4 with the EU. At this point in time, Trump got what he wanted from both the Canada and the Mexico versions. He's probably going to get it from the Chinese version. And the next up is potentially the EU. I'm almost just starting to wonder if these countries are going to realize just give him what he wants before. Like, it's kind of getting frustrating to trade it because we all know it's an overreaction and then it breaks the exact same way. We are all anticipating it and then the market bounces right back to where we expect it to be. So it's kind of getting tiresome that we have to deal with it. It's just all these like little miniature overreactions and heightened moments of volatility. And then guess what? It settles exactly where we expect it to go anyway. So this is what happened overnight. And that's why the pre-market trading is probably a little bit weaker than you anticipated. Palantir soars more than 23% as AI powers strong earnings and guidance. Palantir is crushing. China retaliates with additional tariffs of up to 15% on select U.S. imports starting February 10th. I did a dive into the specific imports. I want to make this very well known. It is not impactful. The imports that they're choosing to tariff, we are not a big exporter of those said imports to China. So this is all for the headlines. It's not some sort of giant economic hit. China's finance minister said Tuesday it will impose additional tariffs of 15% on coal and liquefied natural gas imports from the U.S. starting February 10th. I don't even think we're in the top 5 of sending coal in LNG to China. This is 100% just for headlines. China will also levy 10% higher duties on American crude oil, farm equipment, and certain cars and trucks, as well as enacting export controls on certain products related to critical materials. So it's something to pay attention to. I don't even know if it's necessarily worth our time to get into the exact details and memorize them and burn them into our brain, because like the other stuff with Canada and Mexico, it's most likely going to be so short-lived. Obviously, this is just conjecture. I have no crystal ball. I can't tell you how this is going to go, but just reading the tea leaves here, reading the room, getting the vibe of this, how this is all gone, it feels like this is going to be over before the week is even out. China to launch probe into Google over alleged antitrust violations. I decided to include this because it's a little bit different of a vibe than we've seen before. We have China not just doing the tariff headline stuff of saying, okay, you're giving us tariffs, so we're going to give you tariffs. Now they're actually going after an individual U.S. company, obviously a very well-known company, Alphabet, aka Google. So they're doing some antitrust violation. And this is kind of some of the same work we've seen out of EU. And Trump's commented on this, really not so happy. So do I believe that Alphabet acts in a monopolistic manner? Yeah. Of course they do. But I do find it interesting that China is currently using that almost as a leverage tool, if you will, in the current discussion. So just wanted to share that, especially if Google has some weird trading behavior today. But once again, if they just say, okay, never mind, we're not looking into it anymore, it just proves that those are the dips to be bought. China hits back against Trump's tariffs with targeted actions. Move include 10 to 15% levies on U.S. energy, agricultural tools. So for more context of why I just think this is more of showboating than anything else, this is a pretty solid write-up by Bloomberg. Beijing imposed a 15% levy on less than $5 billion of U.S. energy imports and a moderate 10% fee on American oil and agricultural equipment on Tuesday, moments after new U.S. tariffs entered into effect. So basically, the order of sequence here was the U.S. said, we're going to do it. They did it, and then China quickly retaliated. China said it will also investigate Google for alleged antitrust violations, although Alphabet's search services have been unavailable in the country since 2010. Oh, man, you can't make this up. That just sounds so silly. That sounds so silly. It's been banned since 2010, and they're going to be looking in them for an antitrust situation. If there was ever a screaming moment of probably buy the dip, it doesn't get more obvious than that. They haven't been able to use it for 15 years, and they're going to hit them with an antitrust. Just doesn't make sense. President Xi Jinping's response appeared carefully calibrated to avoid major blowback on China's economy, while showing Trump an ability to inflict damage on a range of fronts, including by disrupting the key minerals supply chain and hurting U.S. companies with major operations on the mainland. So this is a fancy schmancy Bloomberg talk way of saying, okay, they were very, very calculated and specific in this certain sub-niches they decided to impact, where it didn't really have an impact. This is much more of a headline-driven type of situation. It looks like a fairly muted retaliation from first glance, according to the chief economist for Greater China at ING Bank in Hong Kong, noting that energy accounts for a small share of China's imports from the U.S. The measures of U.S. companies, however, can be seen as a quote-unquote warning shot to U.S. businesses that depend on China's market, obviously he included. So once again, this isn't a big thing. This is a headline-driven thing. They're even calling it out. They're like, we can look up this whole energy impact. China was not some massive importer of U.S. energy to begin with. Go look at Russia. Go look at China. That's where they're getting their energy from. So this, to be absurdly clear, I find it actually more interesting on the Google side of things. But this, once the news blows over, it's in my humble opinion, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. We're going to see how all the cards really fall here. But I think this is just another piece of evidence that suggests the dip is to be bought. Like I said, I might be right, I might be wrong. You always have to respect your risk, but just seeing how this has played out literally for basically the whole past week now. We went from DeepSeek, we went from tariffs to DeepSeek to tariffs to more forms of tariffs, and just every situation it's proven that the dips are to be bought. I want to be clear. I don't know the future, but if you do it with solid risk to reward setup, I think it's going to pay handsomely. Speaking of the overall market and announcements today, as I alluded to at the start of the show, at 10 a.m., 30 minutes into the trading session, we're going to be getting the JOLTS job openings. Tomorrow, we're going to be getting the ADP non-farm employment change and some ISM non-manufacturing PMI and prices. Initial jobless claims on Thursday. And then on Friday, that's the big day, the first Friday of a new calendar month, we're going to get the unemployment report. That's going to come out an hour before the market opens. We're also in earnings season. So yesterday at the market close, we heard from Palantir. This morning, we heard from PayPal, Spotify, Pfizer, Pepsi, Ferrari. After the market closes today, AMD, Google, which is interesting because of the new China-based news, Snapchat, Chipotle. So this is, yesterday was exciting. Today's going to be exciting. And then on Wednesday, Uber, Disney, Ford, Qualcomm, ARM, and later on we have Amazon, you have Roblox, you have Cloudflare, Peloton, Pinterest. So feel free to screenshot this. Feel free to go at eWhispers if you want to go to this account and just get this screenshot. It is also in the newsletter. But the exciting one that we heard from is Palantir. Dude, PLTR just keeps ripping. Palantir shares rocket 22% after company posts strong earnings and outlook. This, for those of you who don't know, this is a company that's in the world of data analytics. It relates to the world of AI. It relates to huge government contracts in the US and globally. It has a lot to do with national defense, national security. A lot of people are big fans of the CEO, Alex Karp. Other people absolutely hate him, but I don't see how you could hate him when he's running the company so incredibly well. Palantir is crushing. Now, am I a big fan of you guys getting in at all-time highs? No. But you should have gotten in. I mean, not long ago, it was trading at $20. Now it's trading over $100. This is why you want to get in on perceived weakness when the foundation is still strong. You don't want to be the person chasing at highs. Now, if your strategy is like, dude, I don't care, I'm not an active trader, I'm an investor, and I just dollar cost average on the first day of the month anyway, okay, cool, whatever it is, stick to your plan. I just want to let you guys know that I know there's a lot of Palantir fans in here, and a massive congrats to you. What they had to say, their numbers, their growth, their customer growth, their revenue growth, what they're pulling off, it's so incredibly impressive, and I like it so much. That's why I'm an investor. I like when I'm talking to all of you guys to be very clear of, am I actively trading something or am I investing in it? So for example, I'm in Texas Roadhouse. I like that as an investment. I don't actively trade it. I bought shares how many ever months or years ago, and I just sit on them. Pretty much the same situation with Palantir. Yes, you can make a lot of money off of actively trading it, and maybe if I had more time in my life, I might decide to do it. But right now, I just want you guys, I want to be very clear here. I'm an investor. I like where this thing is going in 10 to 20 to 30 years. So whether it goes up a little, down a little, maybe it just kind of dances around, doesn't matter because I'm coming back in decades. So I want to be clear. Sometimes I'm active trading, sometimes I'm investing. And for me, Palantir is a clear investment. Microsoft is a clear investment. Texas Roadhouse is a clear investment. I've been in those things for a long time, and whenever I see dips, I just add a little bit, and I plan on coming back when I'm an old withered man at the age of 50. So I just want to be clear of what's going on, and I'm not saying that that's the only way to do it. If you trade it, yeah, it's obviously been working out very, very well on Palantir. So I'm in no way knocking it. I'm just trying to better explain how I currently see the situation. But for example, if you decided to take a little quick short-term bearish trade and ride it down, and then it started to come back up and you went from bearish to bullish and you ride this all the way, yeah, congrats. That would have obviously worked. So I'm by no means besmirching you if you're actively trading it. I'm trying to be clear of like the side that I'm coming from. So I track this one. Yeah, I'll look at the technicals every once in a while, but I much more follow the fundamentals. Same thing with Texas Roadhouse, same thing with Microsoft, same thing with a slew of the other investments in my long-term account. So I think, as I alluded to before when we were talking about Ripple, this was from yesterday, a lot of people conflating investing with trading. I think it's incredibly important to know what you're actually talking about at that moment in time, which is why I'm trying to clarify here, because I think a lot of us, we end up doing both. So with this one, I think it's a good trade, but I like it much more as an investment because then I don't have to get freaked out by like little movements such as this. And obviously then I get to wake up to very nice gains such as this one. So I just want to be clear of where I'm at. Luxury car maker Ferrari posts a 21% uptick in full-year profit, sees 2025 growth. So Ferrari crushing it. For those of you who follow F1, they're very excited about the upcoming season because Lewis Hamilton is going to their team from Mercedes. He's going to end up on Ferrari. So a lot of people are very, very excited about that. And the company doing pretty well. Pepsi reporting this morning, PepsiCo earnings beat estimates, but demand for drinks and snacks drop in North America. So interesting numbers coming out of Pepsi. UBS shares retreat 6% on fourth quarter profit beat. $3 billion buyback fails to impress. Very rare that a stock gets hit after they're doing a buyback. So little interesting thing there. I alluded to the whole sovereign wealth fund, but I do think it's important to talk about here because this could end up becoming a very big deal in the U.S. Trump signs executive action to create sovereign wealth fund. Fund could be used to as U.S. facilitates a TikTok sale, according to Trump. Bessent says fund will be created in the next 12 months.
This charges your Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, and your Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, to begin a process that will hopefully result in the creation of an American sovereign wealth fund.
It's a very exciting event. We're going to have a sovereign wealth fund, which we've never had. We have a lot of things that create wealth, and you're seeing that over the last 2 weeks. I think we've created more wealth. Other people have created de-wealth. The people, my predecessors, we're creating a lot of wealth. Scott, maybe you'd like to say something about it, and I'd ask also Howard to say something about it.
Yes, sir. This is very exciting. We're going to stand this thing up within the next 12 months. We're going to monetize the asset side of the U.S. balance sheet for the American people. We're going to put the assets to work. And I think it's going to be very exciting. We're going to study best practices that's done around the world. It'll be a combination of liquid assets, assets that we have in this country as we work to bring them out for the American people.
the extraordinary size and scale of the U.S. government. And
This
the
guy's
business
Howard
it
Lutnick
does with
of Cantor
companies,
Fitzgerald.
Should create value for American citizens. If we are going to buy 2 billion COVID vaccines, maybe we should have some warrants and some equity in these companies and have that grow for the help of the American people. So I bring all these things together, I think Scott and I will create an amazing sovereign wealth fund for you, sir.
So other countries have sovereign wealth funds, and they're much smaller countries, and they're not the United States. We have tremendous potential in this country, tremendous. You're seeing that, what's happened just in a short period of time. And as an example, TikTok, we're going to be doing something perhaps with TikTok, and perhaps not. If we make the right deal, we'll do it, otherwise we won't. But I have the right to do that, and we might put that in the sovereign wealth fund, whatever we make, or if we do a partnership with very wealthy people, a lot of options, but we could put that as an example in the fund, and we have a lot of other things that we could put in the fund. And I think in a short period of time, we'd have one of the biggest funds, and some of them are pretty large, I must tell you. Some of the Saudi Arabia fund is on the large side, but eventually we'll catch it. But we're going to create a lot of wealth for the fund, and I think it's about time that this country had a sovereign wealth fund, and these two gentlemen and some others are going to work with them very closely, and they'll be heading it up, and they're going to do a great job. Two highly respected people that have done unbelievably well in the world, in the real world. So that's a big deal, huh?
Yes, sir.
It is actually a big deal. I'm kind of surprised the U.S. did not have one before this, but the big news there that everyone's kind of teasing it with is TikTok. Because remember, something still needs to be done with the U.S. version of TikTok for a little bit there. We had Oracle in talks, we had Microsoft in talks, and now maybe just the U.S. sovereign wealth fund is going to own it. Trump signs an order establishing a sovereign wealth fund that he says could buy TikTok. President Donald Trump signed an executive order that outlines plans for a government-run sovereign wealth fund to serve as an economic development tool and perhaps be used to buy TikTok. Though the idea of such a U.S. fund has been brought up before, they are generally used by smaller nations with vast natural resources as well as a fiscal surpluses to deploy. That is true, but there's really not, in my humble opinion, not that good of a reason that we haven't been crushing it as a government. So, as a nation with our government obviously running its own. So wanted to share that because I do think that this particular narrative, it might not be that exciting this year, but next year and really for years to come, that's where it could be like actually kind of exciting to see where they're putting money and could be generating investment and trade opportunities for us all paying attention. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter, mattkohrs.locals.com, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. My mod will drop it into chat right now. This is 100% free. You never have to pay a dime. You never had to pay a dime. This is a free newsletter where I break down the previous week, tell you about the upcoming week, highlight all the earnings. I even try to bold the ones that I think you're really going to care about. All the major macroeconomic events, like for example, today, Tuesday, JOLTS job openings and the San Francisco Fed President Daly will be speaking at 2 p.m. So JOLTS job openings 10 a.m., 2 p.m. We have a FOMC voting member speaking, and then obviously the remainder of the week. And then I give you probably the most useful aspect is the seasonality of each individual trading day. So over the past 27 years, this individual day has been won by the bulls 56% of the time with a profit factor of 1.31. This is the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought at open, sold at close on the S&P 500 futures market for quite a while, for almost 20 years. This was a day dominated by the bears. Lower highs, lower lows, buying at open, selling at close, produced a negative return of almost $8,000. But about 5 to 6 years ago, maybe 6 to 7 years ago, all of a sudden the seasonality of this individual day started to really change. So I just wanted to call that out to you. So it's not the most bullish day we've ever seen, but it is a bullish day. Tomorrow, a little bit more favored by the bears. And then on Thursday, a little bit more by the bulls. And then Friday is a bit more neutral. So once again, this is all given out for free. You don't have to pay for anything. If you want, you can go from a member, which is the free thing, to a supporter, which is a premium member. Your first month is free if you use the code Goonie, and then that will obviously get you access to the Goonie Trading Discord, where not only do you get my trades, but you get the Piper signals. You get access to all the previous private lectures. You get access. We just got a news source yesterday, which I'm actually already really liking. And obviously, it's just more of a community of other like-minded traders. So if you want to be surrounded with other people who who take the game of the markets as seriously as you do, that's the perfect place for you. For me personally, yesterday, I did have a small loss when I was selling premium. What had happened was I sold call credit spreads, which is a neutral to bearish bet, early in the morning. You could see I did it around 10:18. But then the news came out at 10:21. So I was 2 to 3 minutes too early. And as soon as the market started to pop, I just got out before my max loss. And then I flipped to the other side and I sold puts and I was able to make a chunk of it back. So basically my first trade, I lost 3.6. Then I made 2.7 back. This was my hedge play and pretty much got back to roughly break even by the end of the day. So wanted to share that. And we do have some time. And I don't know, this isn't exactly related to the market, but I think it is important to, I guess, just current mainstream discussion. I truly want to get all of your thoughts and opinions on this relationship between Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and the U.S. government and his access to what he has. It seems like a lot of people like it. They like what he's doing with Doge and he's saving money, calling out what many people perceive to be silly DEI practices. And we're just kind of giving money away and there's not really much accounting. We know that the Pentagon has failed how many ever audits in a row. One time they misplaced $1 trillion. And there is blowback. Like this isn't an obvious thing from a societal standpoint that everyone likes it. So I kind of wanted to get all of your thoughts on it. White House says Elon Musk serving as a special government employee. Not many people stoked about it. And right now, the most recent thing is the U.S. aid, where Elon Musk started looking into it and I allegedly presented information that it was just all a scam. Like there was a lot of money being siphoned, sent, it seemed as if a lot of taxpayer dollars, our dollars, were being sent to things that just none of us care about. None of us would want our tax dollars to go to it. Now, I'm speaking in generalities. I'm sure you could find some people like, yeah, no, I think we should be sending $30 million of condoms to Hamas. That makes sense. But in more of, I guess, in average sense, I think most of us are like, no, we have our own issues here. So that was just one thing that he uncovered among a litany of other things. And it seems like it's just going to keep going that way. And I don't know. I'm of the opinion that, yeah, I think there should be someone actively paying attention to government waste. To me, that's a bit of a no-brainer. I mean, allegedly, he's already saving us $1 billion a day. Already $1 billion a day, and he wants to get up to $3 billion a day. So to me, when I'm paying taxes every single year, and this is the first time that the U.S. government has ever thought, oh, maybe we should really be doing a bit more auditing and a bit more accounting of, are we using our citizens' taxpayer dollars efficiently? To me, it's a no-brainer, but then yet if you go onto the internet, there's so many people absurdly pissed about it, like absurdly pissed about this. So I guess I feel like I'm missing something. Are people exclusively against Elon because they view him as the person who got Trump reelected and they just don't like Trump, so thus they're not going to like the person who assisted him in getting reelected? Do they not like him because he's the world's wealthiest man in terms of public recorded wealth? Or do they legitimately think that this effort to make the government more efficient is bad? Like, I guess I don't know. Or is it a mixture of it? They're like, nope, this efficiency effort is stupid. We hate him because he's rich, and we also hate him because he got Trump elected. Matt is pro Elon. Of course I'm pro Elon. What do you know how much better off our society? Elon Musk is clearly a net add for our society. Not only did he protect free speech by getting a hold of Twitter, obviously renamed X, he is pushing the entire frontier of space travel. We have Neuralink, we have the Boring Company, we have Tesla. If anyone here is like, hey, we got to help the climate, we have to have this, like whatever, he's the guy leading the EV charge. He's leading the EV charge. He's leading the space charge. He is leading, helping people quadriplegic, paraplegics. Like, how can you not like that? It doesn't compute. Is he a perfect person? No, but no one's a perfect person. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it whatsoever. I understand that he's not a perfect person. And if we're sitting here just saying, oh, okay, well, he did this, that wasn't perfect. Like, yeah, but no one's perfect. I mean, that's a pretty high standard to hold anyone to. I mean, look in the mirror if we're talking about like, oh, are you perfect or not? No, he's not perfect, but no one's perfect. If you look at the net situation, pretty hard, in my humble opinion, to dislike a guy who is pushing the frontier of culture, of society, of technological technological progress. I just don't get it. I just don't understand. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Remember, folks, money is not real. You're not going to be able to take it with you when you go, so you might as well enjoy it now. Minute one, a little bit of a hit to the downside. Here's a quick, out of the gate, S&P 500 Delta is pushing to the upside. The Mag 7 is a little bit flat. So I'm probably not going to be doing much right out of the gate. I try not to. I generally trade way more poorly if I don't let the first 10, 20, 30 minutes really settle so I could get a better idea of what the current day's trend is. So I'll be waiting. The SPY and the Qs opened up in the green. The SPY already hit its closing value from yesterday. The Qs have a little bit more to go, 518.11. So I'm going to be watching that. I think the key thing here is if you're looking at SPX, we'll go to the 5-minute. A key level is going to be 6,000, obviously, key technical level, key psychological level, and there's some decent amount of options being played at 6,000 flat. So I would say this is a solid over underline of like just generically being bullish or bearish on an intraday basis. But what I really want to point out is 6,037.50 and 5,952. So this is my top profit target where if we break out, things could get really excited. And this would be my, short profit target of 5,952, where if we break down below that, it could get way more painful. So this would be an interesting bullish target with the real bull case creating if we can get above and hold above. And then obviously vice versa here at 5,952. So how am I coming up with those levels? Well, we don't have Captain Condor today. We have inverse Captain Condor. It's kind of like when Spider-Man went from normal Spider-Man to like the black costume Spider-Man. We have an inverse. Captain Condor is not saying, oh, I want it in between 60-40 and what is this, 5,950. He's saying, I don't know which direction we're going to go, but we're going to go. These are no longer credit spreads today. These are big debit spreads. This is a unique setup that we have not seen before. Generally, it is two different credit spreads being put together as in an iron condor. This time, no. We have a large debit spread and a large debit spread. This is the first time we've seen Captain Condor play in this manner. It is inverse Captain Condor. This is black costume Captain Condor. We have something going on a little bit special today. So what this is saying, generally when Captain Condor is playing, Captain Condor is saying, okay, we're going to be within these bounds, the top yellow line and the bottom yellow line. This time around, Captain Condor is saying, I don't know which way we're going to break, but we're going to break one of these ways. So that's why I really wanted to call these levels out and say, watch this upper level at 6,037, watch this lower level at 5,952, because if that would be a good target, that would be a good target. But if we can get outside of those bands, there's the chance like a rubber band, instead of getting snapped back, if we go just enough, the volatility could break and then we could keep moving in that direction. So these are very, very important levels to watch today. And like I said, just to really drive this point home, this is the first time that we've seen Captain Condor inverse the type of play that they're doing. Instead of saying we'll be within these bounds, Captain Condor is saying we'll be outside of these bounds. So just wanted to throw that out to everyone. It's not the biggest position. It's 3.6. Sometimes we see Captain Condor get up to the size of like 10,000, 12,000, something like that. So it's still sizable. I mean, 3.6 thousand, 3.9 thousand, it is sizable, but just wanted to share what's going on because it's unique. We have not seen this yet. Palantir is picking up, NVIDIA is picking up. Oh, okay. Let me switch this over. I'm getting bullish. And if I was going to enter it, I should have entered at 932, but that is too early for me. So I just need to sit here. This is not just within my style, within my strategy. Obviously, this would have been a really nice pop to take at 932, which a signal did fire for me, but I put other filters on top of my trading. The first one of which is I just need to wait a little bit more. I can't make the best, most accurate judgment on only 2 to 3 minutes worth of data. So I'm just going to be waiting it out, especially with that the JOLTS job openings report coming out at 10 a.m. today. Please be prepared at 10 a.m. There's going to be a bit of volatility. I can't tell you if it's going to be bullish or bearish, but I can tell you should be paying attention. Palantir is dominant, up 24%. Even NVIDIA is having a good day. It's up 1%. I see Meta's in the green, Tesla's in the green, even Broadcom's trying to go green. Microsoft and Apple are a little bit red. Rum is green. Rum's trying to hold 1250. DJT's green. ASML's green. Netflix is a bit green. Netflix is having a good day too. It's actually up 1%. Netflix having a real good day thus far. Is Netflix, are we getting a breakout signal on Netflix? Yeah. Okay. I actively don't have a position on Netflix, but I do want to let you know this had an earnings beat consolidation. It looks like it's going to have an earnings drift play up to the bullish side, pushing a new all-time high. This is probably worthwhile to put on your watch list. If you want to be aggressive and buy calls, have at it. If you want to be a little bit more conservative and sell puts, have at it. If you just want to realize that this is a good company that's growing and investing in stock, have at it. But overall, you have well-defined risk. It looks like it's going to break out after good earnings consolidation, follow through. This has a lot of things. I don't think it's necessarily an A+ trade because of this huge psychological level at 1,000, and buying at all-time highs is tough, but it's a good trade. I mean, clearly the bulls are in control here. So I just wanted to call that out to everyone. What I'm looking for in the short term is, I already laid out all these levels for you. We do have an upside gap fill at 6,031. We have an upside target at 6,037. But the first, I guess, thing of interest, in my opinion, when it comes to the overall market is, can we hold above or below this massively important level at 6,000? Huge technical level, huge psychological level. Watch 6,000, which on the SPY is roughly 598. So if you want that rough equivalent level, it's 598, maybe like in 5 cents or something like that. It's pretty much where we are right now. Here's a current look at the option flow since market open. Mag 7 sold off for the first 3 minutes, went flat, picking up right now in real time. If you look at the S&P 500, it popped, dropped, popped, dropped. So no hardcore trend there. It does look like the Mag 7 tech is being bought right now in real time in front of your faces. So that's a bit of a bullish trend. The 5-minute, the 10-minute, and the 30-minute are now bullish. So that's an exciting recapture right here on the S&P 500. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute are bullish. And even maybe the 4-hour wants to get going bullish. So the shorter time frames, the 5, the 10, and the 30 bullish. The 5, the 10, and the 30 are bullish. Tech is on a relative basis stronger as of right now than the overall market. And I'm not surprised because we're seeing the options flow seem a little bit stronger as well. It looks like the S&P 500 is having a tough time at 6,000, which just makes me think that this move right here is a very important one. Can we get above and hold above? That might set up that nice upside target all the way to 6,037. And then from there, I don't know if we're going to break out, but if we do start testing that, that could get real exciting. And just to drive this point home, that's what this player is betting on. This player wants it to be going all the way up. Technically doesn't want it to be going above 6,040 because like at that point, he doesn't benefit anymore. She doesn't benefit anymore. But that is an interesting level for sure. The SPY's picking up. The Qs are picking up. Things are looking interesting. SPX, we're holding above 6,000. What time is it? It is 9:38. Obviously, I wish I took this trade because I would already be out on the day. But hey, that's why I have my rules. I have my rules to keep myself safe. This is still too early for me to trade. So you can't cry over spilled milk. Obviously, going long at 9:32 would have been really nice. The SPY recapturing the red to green move. The Q's getting a 2-minute breakout, but on obviously a nice reversal in the options flow. Ooh, but see, the SPY's getting hit right there. It's these weird things of why I have my rules, because you never know if something funky like this is going to happen. So what I'll have to do is, obviously the Qs are looking bullish. I'm going to have to wait for some little intraday pullback that then bases and starts to go back up, because I can't just blindly chase this right now. That's a perfect way to get your account hit a little bit. So I'm just going to wait. Obviously, out of the gate, things are looking good. If you want more of the daily picture, here's how we're looking right now. There is an upside gap fill on the SPY to 601.05. That is a very evident target. If you look at the Qs, we have an upside gap fill to 521.19, which we're almost at. We're almost at 521.19. That's also a very obvious play. The small cap sector, not looking the best right now. Bitcoin not doing much, trying to hold 100,000. Palantir, absolutely dominant. NVIDIA, maybe we're putting in a bottom here. It's showing a little bit of strength, but I wouldn't be holding my breath on it at the moment. Netflix just hit a new all-time high. Meta taking a little bit of a breather, but not far away from the all-time high. Tesla showing a little bit of green. There is an upside gap fill to 401.34. Broadcom, not really doing doing much. Microsoft not doing the most. Apple not doing the most. Coin not doing the most. MSTR picking up, looking interesting. Maybe there's a solid play on MSTR if it can clear 356. Rumble trying to hold that. It is holding that. I like that. DJT. Qualcomm showing a bit of weakness. ASML, not much going on. Amazon, not far from its all-time high. Google, XRP, Solana, Trump coin showing weakness. Texas Roadhouse flat. Bonds flat, a little weak. Oil getting hit. Nice push to the upside, getting smacked to the downside. Gold is continuing to push. That's an all-time high on gold. So that's the skinny as of now. But I do believe it all just comes back down to, at least for this individual trading session, is SPX dominantly holding above 6,000 or not? Here's a look at the flow. The Mag 7, which is the combination of Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla. The white line is the price line of the Mag 7. And then the colorized bars are the delta flow. If you guys need a quick recap of what the delta notional value is, it's just a measure of the bullishness and or bearishness of the options market for the underlying. So if you're trending up, that is more positive delta, that is bullish. If you're trending down, that's more negative delta, that's thought to be bearish. So right here, it was bearish out of the gate, caught itself at 933, and the options flow picked up, and then thus price also picked up. Then options took a bit of a hit, which caused price to come down. Now we're kind of flattening out, trying to see which way this is really going to spin. If you look at the S&P 500, it's not as smooth as the Mag 7 this morning. We dropped, we popped, and since then we've been dropping, and it's all kind of coming back to a tough battle here at 6,000. Right here, it's this drop in real time that, yeah, I told you, I was like, oh man, I kind of wish I like chased that. But it's these types of things of why, that's why I have my rules, because I don't want to get caught up in situations like this where it's not as strong as you necessarily like it to be. I honestly wouldn't mind a little bit more of a pullback and then a nice base, and then we bounce off of that, because that would be the perfect opportunity for me to enter a long position. Now, what I plan on trading today are my Apex accounts. That's right here. You see me trading my 20 Apex accounts. Those are the things that thus far I've gotten $160,000 in payouts from these accounts alone, $120,000 in the month of January. Shout out to Apex, because that's what I'm going to, hang on. Fuck. What's the options flow looking like? It did just pop. What time is it? It's 9:43. Did I miss it? I was looking at this little bull flag we had going on, thinking about entering around 03, seeing if it could hold 500. What time is it? It is 9:43. I'm getting a bullish reading on 4 different filters here. So bullish, bullish, bullish. We are above VWAP. I can't, like, what I was thinking about doing when I was talking to you guys was this little right here. So around 500, around 505. So if I get in right now, I'm overpaying by about 10 points, which isn't the worst thing. I've definitely overpaid for more in my life. I've definitely overpaid for more. Let me double check the flow really quick. S&P 500. But see, the mag, that freaks me out. No, I can't go long. I want to trade not only with the price, because the price is looking strong, but I also want to trade with the options flow. And I can't bring myself to do it if the options flow is not doing what I need it to do. When people refer to trades getting quote unquote lucky, I found in my trading career that you're much more lucky when more things align with your trade. So even though when I look purely at price, I'm like, oh, that's pretty bullish. Higher highs, higher lows. That's interesting. I see Palantir going. I see excitement. I think right now something everyone needs to be paying attention to is the options flow, and the options flow is just telling me a different story. It's just I can't bring myself to go long when the options flow is not even flat. It's like one thing if you're like, all right, I'm going to take a little bit of a weaker setup, but the options flow is flat, so maybe it breaks in my manner. It's tough for me to go long when it's just getting hit. It's legitimately getting hit. So for me, I just need to wait for it to flatten out or something. I can't go long when the options market is just getting hit. The SPYs may be flattening out right now, maybe, but I do find that if I'm patient and wait for more and more things to align, that's when I quote unquote get luckier. I'm seeing a spike in volume right now in options, so maybe Ooh, someone's selling calls and they're buying puts. Someone is selling calls and buying puts on the Mag 7 in real time. So looking for this to kind of bottom out. Price is holding up decently, and the SPY just got a bit of a pop. Price is definitely holding up. Palantir is looking good. I just need to be patient. I need to wait for the opportunity. Palantir, new all-time high. I mean, Palantir, when it opened today, was a new all-time high. At any intraday high has to, by definition, be a new all-time high. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you crush earnings and you've just been absolutely dominant for 2 to 3 years now. Like, this is a monster of a stock. A monster of a stock. See, still dumping. I can't, this is exactly why I didn't chase along, because this stuff happens. Like, I'm telling you, you can stack quote unquote luck on your side when you wait for more things to align on your trade. Anyway, as I'm waiting for these things to align, shout out to Apex, which is today's stream sponsor. Right now, they are running an 80% off deal. Apex Trader Funding is a sim to funded business. What does that mean? It means that you sign up to take a test, and the test right now is 80% off if you use the code Goonie pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. I personally trade on the 50K accounts, but you could trade whatever account size you like best. I use the 50K. It's 167 normally, but right now, if you use that code Goonie, it's 80% off. So you'll only have to, the test is only like $35. So you take the test, and the test is basically this, at least for the 50K. I'll use that as an example, but it will change per account size. You need to make $3,000 in profit without suffering a 2.5K unrealized drawdown. That's the test. It's in a sim account. It's not like a real trading or real money. It's paper trading. If you can pass that test, you go from an eval account up to a PA account, a performance account, which is why my accounts right here say PA, because I went from eval to PA. When you're on a PA account and you trade well there, that's when you could get real money. So right now, they are offering, I believe, I just want to double check, an 80% off deal. So it's 80% off to take the test. If you do well on the test, you could upgrade to a PA. If you do well on a PA, that's when you could get the payout. Obviously, as you can see, I have multiple of these accounts. I have 20 of them. So you can go all the way up to 20. I have all 20 because I don't know, I'm a degenerate and I maximized it. But I want to be clear, for each of those individual accounts out of the 20, the first $25,000 of profit is yours. And then after that, it's a 90-10 split with the company. So each individual account, not for you as an overall trader, each individual account, you keep the first $25,000 flat. It's all yours. And then after that, it's a 90-10 split with the company. So check it out. There's a lot of other rules and little things like that that you should check out in the FAQ. If there's any individual questions, I can let you know. But I just want to let you know that this deal ends in a day and a half. So once again, use that code Goonie, Goonie. When you're checking out, you'll see a coupon section, and that's how you could get the 80% off offer. Okay. Speaking of trading, I just took my stab at it. And the reason I took a stab there, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I'm long at 21,509. I figured that was pretty close to that initial value I wanted to get in at anyway at 21,503, 505. So I liked it, but the trigger that I saw was for a second there, and granted I'm on the 5-second chart, I saw the option flow starting to pick up. See right here, I see calls starting to be bought. I was waiting for this bottoming in the options market. See how it kind of sold, went flat. I saw that some 0 DTEs and some longer duration ones were starting. Like, I saw some positive delta movement. That was the exact split, or that was the exact, I guess, signal I was trying to play off of. So once again, I'm looking to align luck on my side. Is this a guarantee? No, no one is a 100% trader. If you are attempting to make money on every single trade, of course we're attempting that, but if that's your true expectation of what's possible, I have a sad story for you. It's not going to work. It's not going to work for you. All you can do is stick to your system. Really, you should already know if you have positive expected value or not, and be as disciplined as you could possibly be. So that's what I did. I was waiting. I had to wait about the first 20 minutes. I tried to not get caught up on this. I was really close to chasing it at 943. Instead, I waited until the options market showed more signs of what I wanted to see. I didn't want to go long as it was puking. I waited for the bottom, started to pick up, and hopefully it will now break in my favor. And already right now, I'm up a nice $450 per account. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Speaking of which, this is where I've been messing up my life previously, is by not putting stops on the chart. So I just need to get in good practice. And
Order submitted.
I'm putting in the stop on my chart right now. And where do I want to have the stop? My stop is technically at 75 at this moment in time. This is where my system is calling to put my stop. So if it goes below that, it sucks. And I'm going to take a 35-point hit, which is about $600, $700, something like that. So we're going to see. And my goal here is to ride the trend. And I do have an upper limit target. We'll call that 75. All right. All right. So
Order
here,
submitted.
I'm not going to let myself go past this upper limit target. As the market trends in my favor, if we keep just slowly but surely pushing up, I'll just keep moving my stop up. That's the plan. This is constant. I'm not going to be moving my target past that. And then this is going to be my stop. My one major concern right now, not the fact that we popped and it's just already magically giving it back, is I'm worried about the volatility that's going to be produced in 9 minutes from the JOLTS job openings report. So not the most stoked about that. So because I'm a little bit nervous, I might even move my stop up even more and just keep like really aggressively doing it. My goal is to, as quickly as possible, reduce my risk of this trade. So honestly, I'm thinking about maybe just moving it now. I'll move it higher. My goal is just continually removing my risk from the trade. Continually removing my risk from the trade, because you could easily withstand a small loss, but it's a large loss that can end the game for you. And the only reason I was able to successfully grow these accounts from 50,000 to almost 90,000, a $40,000 gain per account across all 20 accounts, I'm talking $800,000, was when I'm trading well, it's because I'm aggressive in moving my stop. I'm aggressive in taking risk out of the play. And what I found, especially from trading in these types of environments, especially trading in futures, is if you take a hit and it's a reasonable hit, the futures market's moving enough that you could easily make it back. It's those times that I personally become undisciplined and I end up sitting there and I'm like, oh, I'm going to hold it. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. Those are the times that my losses really, really balloon. So I could actually move this up a bit more now. I'm going to move it up to 95. Like I said, I'm just going to keep aggressively moving it. And my goal is to actually get the stop right above my entry. So it's a free lottery ticket. And actually, if we take out 50, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Come on. As soon as it pushes 50, push 50, push it. I don't want it to get knocked there. Don't get knocked there. Take out 50, take out 50, take out 50. Come on. As long as I might have to give myself a little bit more of a breathing room if it struggles at 50, but if it can just take it out, people are going to naturally react to this level. Come on, just push it. So the goal here is as soon as it pushes 50 and I can see it holding, I'm just going to move my stop up to 21,510. Then it's a free play. It costs me nothing. It's just a free lottery ticket play, which is my favorite way to trade because I just take all risk off the table. And yeah, when you trade that way, when you're aggressively moving your stop to break even, there's going to be many circumstances in which you get knocked out for break even. That's part of trading. But the point is that you're letting the profits take care of themselves as you are being a good steward of your own risk, which right now, just to, I guess, execute on exactly what I'm saying, right there, it's a free play. It's a free play. Maybe I get knocked out. If I get knocked out, it costs me nothing. Zilch, nada, goose egg, it costs me nothing. I'm either going to be making $25,000 or it's zero. But my point is that there's absolutely no risk. This is my favorite way to trade. I'm not saying it's appropriate for everyone. Maybe you have a different style that works for you and your personality and your account size. And hey, I'm not saying what I do is the only way to be successful. But what I am saying is what I do is also how I'm up about $800,000 in the past 2 months of trading. So I know this works, but I'm not saying it's the only one, the only style or methodology that does work. So right here, maybe I get stopped out. Maybe I get my money. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how it goes. All right. And yeah, literally just at this point, just waiting. We're above VWAP. I just wanted to check where that was. Come on. Come on, give me my money. And I would love for this to be locked in before 10 a.m. because I know that report comes out at 10 a.m. And with these reports, crazy stuff can happen. And I don't want to get like accidentally wicked out and then it goes back in my favor. So I'd really, really love if I could hit this target before 10 a.m. Eastern because of the JOLTS job opening. The JOLTS job opening, the S&P 500 flow picking up since 9:45, taking a little bit of a hit right now, but overall picking up. The Mag 7 took a big hit. This is where I was refusing to go long. I waited for the bottoming, and then that's where I went long, was on this pickup. I didn't know that it took a hit and then bounced again. Obviously, at this point, I'm already in the trade, just trying to ride the trend, but this was what I was avoiding. This is why I waited till about 9:48, 9:50 to go long, because I saw a potential bottoming in the Delta flow. Once again, with respect to the S&P 5, or this is for the Mag 7, this is for the S&P 500. I'm seeing a bit of a turn in Delta right now, but the Qs, the Qs just got their upside gap fill. Here, let me show you this. Qs daily right here. We hit the upside gap fill that was in the chart. The low between Friday and the high of yesterday, there was a gap in the chart, and we took that out at 521.19, and obviously we're now pushing 522. 522. And then here's a look at the SPY, which is not even really close to yesterday's high. Yesterday's high was 629. And if we start pushing 629, a natural target would then be 601.05. But I think if this is in play today, has a lot to do with the JOLTS job reports that's coming out in about 3 minutes. So I'm still very much hoping I can make this money before the report. I want this to lock in. And actually, speaking of that, I'm going to move my stop up even more. So worst case scenario, I'm making $200 per account. I have 20 accounts. Worst case scenario, I'm making $4,000. You can't cry about making $4,000 in a day. Worst case scenario, I make $4,000. Best case scenario, I make about $25,000. That's not a bad day. To get yourself in a situation where the worst case scenario is making $4,000, I'm going to take that. And then, of course, I'm hopeful. I want it to go up to 75. There's nothing really that special about this level. I just kind of picked it, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I could just kind of get out now, and depending on how it is, I'll see. I'm going to give this a chance to get hit, and I am watching the clock because now I have about 2 minutes. So maybe I try to get out with the clock, but once again, I'm not sweating that hard when $4,000's already guaranteed. It's already guaranteed. There we go. Uh-oh. Vol's picking up going into it. See, like I said, when you have these announcements, people definitely start to react. We got as high as 68. I was hoping on 75. So I basically have one of two options. I could either let the profit hit or the risk hit, or I could just close it right before. I'm going to give it I have 90 seconds to make this decision. 90 seconds. Or maybe the market will make it for me and it'll just knock me out before it occurs. Come on. 90 seconds. 90 seconds. We're dancing 10 points shy. 10 points shy. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Hit it. Hit it right before. Hit it. Hit it. Ah! Come on. Hit it. Hit it. We have 1 minute. Hit it. There we go. Boom. You saw it all in real time. I made $1,300 on my 20 Apex accounts and on my 5 take profit accounts. So on the Apex itself, I made this is $26,000 locked in, plus another $7,000, another $6,000. So not a bad day. That's a $30,000 return. Like I said, if you want to trade with someone else's money, if you want to do exactly what I'm doing, it's right here. And right now they're running a fat 80% off deal. To get the deal, all you have to do is use that code Goonie. You can trade it. This is like I'm showing you. There's Apex. There's the Apex accounts. I have PA. I made 1.3K on all of them. That's 26,000. Just like that. Just like that. And I'm flat. I'm done. I'm not going to keep trading. I find that when I overtrade, that's actually when things get really, really, really bad for me. But if you want to take advantage of it, and I really, really enjoy this because it's a way to minimize your risk. Inherently, if you're trading with your own account, you're risking the money in your own account. So your risk is whatever's on your credit card bill to get these accounts. That like it's just, in my opinion, it's a great way to minimize your risk. So I highly implore you guys checking out, pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. And instead of paying, what is it, $167, I want to say? Yeah, instead of paying $167 with that code Goonie, you will get 80% off, which means you're only going to have to pay $35. So check it out, pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. With that being said, is our boy Rick Santilli giving us, I want the JOLTS job opening data. Where's our boy
Good
Rick?
Tuesday morning. Welcome to another hour of Squawk on the Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with Carl Quintanilla
There
and
we
David
go.
Faber,
We're popping.
live as always from Post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange. Stocks are climbing this morning.
Must have liked the
Trade
JOLTS job
tensions
report.
ease, and the S&P is up about 1/3 of 1%. NASDAQ up 0.8%.
Yep,
It is taking
actual
the lead
7.6 when the
again.
forecast
Along with
was 8.
Energy stocks are doing well, up 1.25% for the group. Communication services, consumer discretionary materials, and industrials all higher. The Dow is actually down a little bit. You've got someone
just asked me, so there's no problems with payouts. They paid me out in my bank account right now $120,000 in the month of January, Philip. And since I started these accounts at the beginning of December, they paid me out $160,000. So all I can tell you is about my own accounts right now. This month, the month of January, and actually I have I did entire breakdown videos of this. It's just on the new channel. It's on the normal. How do I even go to this channel? Matt Kohrs Apex. It's a new channel, so it's like, I guess, hard to find it. Right here. So I made a different channel that is just covering my trading strategies, Apex, how I'm doing it, more of evergreen content. So if you're curious in that, here, I'll put it in here right now, because I do better explanations of what in the world's happening. But this was my first payout, 40 grand, 80 grand, 120. And then I just got approved for that 160. So obviously I need to make a video on that, and it'll actually be coming out later this week. So that video is currently being made, edited, produced, all that good stuff. But thus far in the month of January, I got 120,000 in payout, and since the start of these accounts I've got 160. So all I can do is fairly tell you guys how like it's been going for me personally. And not only do I show you guys my trades day in and day out, I mean, I did it all live. I gave you the explanation. I told you what I was looking for. I told you why I was being patient. I literally dictated the entire trade from you, so you guys in real time. This is over 30 grand, 1.3 thousand multiplied by 25 accounts. I have 20 Apex accounts, 5 take profit. That's 30 grand. 30 grand. And this market is looking nice right now. All right, let's check out the individual flow. I saw someone asking about Tesla. Tesla was strong, then weak, then strong again. Meta has been weak all day. Amazon has been strong all day. Google has been flat to strong. Nvidia has been strong all day. Broadcom strong all day. Palantir strong, but now flattening out. So just neutral at this point, but at market open it was strong. Apple very choppy. Microsoft actually weak. Coinbase weak. MSTR not showing up. Very choppy and weak. So what jumps out to me is Tesla, it could be looking stronger. Nvidia is one that's really jumping out to me right now because it's been under so much pressure, but now whatever's going on, the bull faucet is strong. The bull faucet is strong right now. So wanted to share that. Hang on. Is Rick talking? Sorry.
Pre-opening stocks.
Let's get to that aforementioned JOLTS data. Let's get to Rick Santelli. Hey, Rick.
Hey, Carl, indeed, JOLTS. This is the December number. It's always 2 months in arrears, expecting 8 million-ish, 7,600,000. That is the smallest month-over-month job openings. Well, going all the way back to SEP of last year. There was a revision upward, though, of November, and that was from 8,098,000 to 8,156,000. Now, let's look at factory orders for December, shall we? Expected down 0.8, pretty much as expected. Down 0.9, that would be the weakest going back to July of last year. But we did have a revision in the wrong direction, unfortunately.
Man, semis are going.
-0.4 our last look, doubling down to -0.8. So back-to-back weakness in factory orders. Now, let's look at ex-transportation. Dramatic improvement
up to 0.3. Durable goods, now these are final reads. We get rid of the mid-month read. Mid-month read minus 2.2. It remains at minus 2.2. Once again, strip out transportation. We can see where the drag was. Moves up to up 0.3, exactly as the mid-month read. Now let's look at capital good orders non-defense X air, a proxy, of course, for capital spending. Up 0.4. The mid-month read was up 0.5. Still pretty solid all in all. This is the second consecutive positive number back to back. November was a very strong.
Pretty obvious play now.
0.9. That was up 0.9. And finally, if we go from orders to shipments, comes in 1/10 lighter than our mid-month read, from 0.6 up 0.5 or 0.5%. If we look at the pre-opening stocks, they were doing better. Now they're even doing better that they're open. If we look at interest rates, 4.22 and a 10, that's down 3. If you look at it, that was a 2. A 10 is 4.54. That's basically down 2 basis points. It certainly seems as though the big story today, of course, is going to be Disruptor 50. In my opinion, it's Disruptor 47. That's the current administration. The market seems to be writing off a lot of the trade negotiations. Is it really a trade war? Don't think so. Back to you, David.
I agree.
All right, Rick. Thank you, Rick Santelli. China did announce retaliatory measures overnight. This after President Trump's 10% tariffs on goods imported from China kicked in. Eunice Yoon is in Beijing and has the latest for us. Eunice.
Thanks, David. Well, China took a totally different approach from Canada and Mexico. It announced several countermeasures, 10 to 15% tariffs on energy imports, farm gear and trucks, export curbs on tungsten, as well as other rare metals, an antitrust probe on Google, and blacklisting PVH as well as alumina. Now, the impact of the measures vary, though on the whole, they don't appear to be significantly damaging. One interesting note is that the government here indicated that it is willing to take on a different approach to retaliation by going after individual U.S. companies. Overall, though, the move appears to be a way for China to gain leverage over President Trump by throwing more items onto the negotiating table if indeed there is a discussion between President Xi and President Trump for a larger economic deal.
Okay, Eunice, thank you very much. Eunice Yoon, China
awkward
throwing
handoff.
back at the countermeasures on trade. Though reading the research
The Google
this
part
morning,
is interesting.
Mostly what I'm getting is that it's not going to have a big economic effect, what the counter retaliatory measures on that China imposed.
Right.
And actually,
We
the
kind
market's
of
not too worried about
got through all that. We got through all of that. All right, let me reload this. The SPY, we are going to yesterday's high. Very interesting. But the real play is right here. The upside gap fill, 601.05. And then from an options perspective, which is pretty much just past the upside gap fill, it is this options level at 603.7. So upside gap fill on SPY, once again for SPY, is 601.05. On SPX, it's basically 6,031. It's right here at 6,030.93. So let's just call it 6,031. But the level I care about is 6,037.5 because that's exactly where we see inverse Captain Condor playing today. Inverse Captain Condor is right here saying, hey, instead of having credit spreads in Iron Condor, saying, no, I think we either break above 6,040 or break below 5,950. Obviously, we're heading in this direction. So all eyes are going to be on this debit spread situation right here. If this player chooses to monetize right when it goes in the money, well, all right, that might mess up the delta a little bit. But what this player wants is basically the day to be anywhere above 6,040. It doesn't matter if it's a cent or $100. Or on the other side, wants the market to close below 5,950. Once again, it doesn't matter if it's by a cent or by $100. This player, this positioning here in the orange, this positioning here in the blue, is basically saying they just want a large move. That's what they're looking for. And obviously just cutting those strikes in half. That's how I came up with the 6,037.5 because they are long the 6,035s and they are short the 6,040s. But really the 40 and the 50, or it's probably a better way. You know what? Let me just update it. I think this is, instead of me cutting it in half, this is probably an easier way for everyone to understand it. All right. So you have the upside gap fill at 6,031. I'll set, we already have the alert set. So I'm just going to delete it to clean up the chart just so I don't want to confuse people. The alert is already set right here at 601.05 on the SPY. But while looking at the SPX, this player right here, inverse Captain Condor today, is basically saying they want the market either above 6,040 at the end of the day or below 5,950. Either or, either above here or below here, but not in the middle. This is the first time that we've seen Captain Condor go inverse like this. This is a rare move for this player, so we're going to see how they react. Obviously, we'll be able to track it throughout the day to see if they dump the position or not. I should also bring your attention to this on GexBot. What do we have going on here? If we can hold... Okay, where are we at? This is... hey, do I need to reload this? I want it to just resize for me. I kind of messed it up. Okay, here we are. You can see right here, 6,040. So not only are we seeing it called out by Spot Gamma at 6,040, but we're also seeing it on GexBot. This is going to be big resistance. So that's why it's my target level number 1 for the bull camp. If you can get above and hold above, we're talking about 6,080 as the next level. So if we can get this upside gap fill and hold above it at 601, we might be talking about another $4 movement, bringing us up to 605 today. That is in the cards. Now, I'm not saying it's a guarantee because there's no such thing as a guarantee in the market, but that's the if-then statement. If we can break above 6,040, which is effectively this upside gap fill on the SPY, it's the upside gap fill on SPX. If we can break above and hold that level, that means that we're going to be turning this gamma resistance into gamma support, and then that sets us up on a launch pad to the next major gamma level, which would be 6,080. That's a 40-point difference. 10 points is roughly $1 on the SPY, which is how I'm coming up with the potential of going to 605 today. Obviously, that's a giant if-then statement. If we break, if we hold, then that's in the cards. But for right now, the first step would obviously be tagging 6,040, which is big resistance. And even here, we're running into a bit of an issue at 6,030, where we just have some long calls in that player. They might choose to monetize. I don't think that they will, but we're going to see. We will definitely be seeing. It's going to be an exciting day. So target 1 and then target 2 would be all the way up here. Just in case this ends up happening in the latter half of the day, I want you guys still to know the levels that the options market are telling me I should personally be paying attention to. So these are the levels. First profit target for the bulls. If we break and hold, second profit target. If we get rejected here, we might dance around at 6,000. Maybe it's a neutral day, but if things break down, my first downside target would be 5,950. And then at that point, I'd have to reevaluate to see how the options market is positioning itself for a potential downside target. But for right now, the way that we're trending, the way that options flow is trending, nope, we have some profit taking right here on the SPY. Things are slowing down because someone tried to buy some puts back here at 10.08. They are not looking so good. But right here at 10.11, people started to monetize their 0 DTE calls. If you ask me, these players are a bit too early. I think if they understood how the options market works, or at least the positioning of the options market, they would have properly known that they could have held on a bit later to go all the way up to 6,040. But for whatever reason, in real time, I could see that there is some 0 DTE calls being monetized. Someone tried to buy them back, and now we're going flat. But this put player right here at 10.08, that's a stupid play. They're going against the trend. And then these calls right here being monetized, those are some weak hands. Those are definitely some paper hands. I don't know why they would be reacting there at 10.13. It's kind of ruining the party for everyone, but we'll see. I think they're a little bit early. The Mag 7 had a big pop from 10.50 to about 10.01. Then we went flat. We're giving a little bit back right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhat related to whoever blinked here first on the bull side of the S&P 500, but I cannot say this enough. If we can hold, first we want to see the upside gap fill. We got close. The intraday high is currently 693, which means that we had about 12 cents to go. 12 more cents to go to get that upside gap fill. The upside gap fill, that doesn't seem right. No, okay, it is right. Right here, it's this dashed red line because it's the low value from 2 trading days ago. So to get the upside gap fill, we got real close. We got up to 600.93. We needed to get to 601.05. So that would be, I guess, my current real-time target. It looks like we're having a little bit of a pullback, especially being led slightly down by the semis. But I wouldn't freak out about it. Not at all. It's just we have some weak hands right now in the S&P 500. They're selling calls because they're little fucking babies. I'm going to be honest with you. They are little fucking babies. They're not in here. They're not learning anything. Hey, but really, thanks to Matt, I'm really better at trading. I started trading and needed to do X500 really quick. So closing out huge winning positions, win again, but brainless move it was. Hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than skillful. When it comes to the game of trading in the market, I would pick luck over skill on any day of the week. Any day of the week. All right, as we are waiting here to see with that upside gap fill, and more importantly, to see if we can hold above this level, hold above whatever 6,031 and how we rack to 6,040, while we're waiting for basically this test to occur. Are there any questions, comments, concerns on Apex? Are there any nuances that I can, I guess, explain about my personal accounts right here? Is there anything I could explain about the rules, offer a little clarity? I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I have been doing this now for about a year and a half, so I think I could answer some basic questions. So is there any questions, comments, concerns on Apex Trader funding or like the sim to funded, I guess, methodology or sector at all? Anything? If not, we could go back to looking at some of the options flow, but I just wanted to turn it over to you guys just to do I suppose a little quick AMA as it relates to Apex or sim to funded trading or anything like that. So feel free to fire. How do you start? You just go right here. You just sign up. Sign up. That's how you do it. Does Apex take a percentage? They take 10% right here. This one right here, 10% of your gains after the first 25,000 per account. So it's not your trader account, it's your individual trading accounts. You keep the first 25K per individual trading account, not you as a user, per individual trading account. And then after that, you keep, it's a 90-10 split where you keep 90%, and it's all right here. Like all the major info is right there highlighted. Consistency rules. Yeah, there's two consistency rules. There's the 30% rule is the big one. No individual trading day, like no individual trading calendar session or calendar day can account for more than 30% of your overall profit. So if your overall profit is $10,000, no individual day can contribute more than $3,000. Just because that's 30%. Now, what happens if you break that rule? That just means you need to keep trading. You don't lose your accounts or anything. It just means you need to keep trading to grow your account to dilute the percentage impact of that one individual trading day. I just signed up. What type of play would you recommend to pass eval? Well, there's the smart play, and then there's the degenerate play. So I don't know which one you really want. If you want the smart play, you should be trading on the system that you plan on trading on your PA accounts anyway. So work to refine that, work to optimize that. That's the smart play. Now, if you're a degenerate like this guy, what I do is I buy a lot of accounts. And when I know there's a volatile event coming up, like an FOMC meeting, or let's say this Friday's unemployment report, I send a lot long max accounts. I send a lot short max accounts. And I hope that one of them hits to pass the test quickly. That's degenerate. I'm not saying it's for everyone. It's definitely not the smart play. But for someone who is, I don't know, as degenerate and as impatient as I am, that's what I do. I'll buy 10 accounts, or I'll buy 20 accounts. I'll set 5 long, I'll set 5 short. I'll max out the accounts right before a big event. And then I just hope that it hits and I get my fill before blowing it out. So that's a way to speed run it. It comes with other risks. It's super degenerate. It's not a smart move, but I just want to be honest about what I do. Is Vanquish similar to Apex? They're in the same industry, but Vanquish is for options trading. Apex is for futures trading. So right here, when I trade Apex, you're seeing that I'm trading the NQ contract, which is the futures contract for, hang on, I just wanted to zoom out here. This is the futures contract for the NASDAQ. So here's the list of things you could trade. So you have, it's basically all these things. It's on their homepage, but it's for futures trading, while Vanquish is for options trading. We got it. Upside gap fill. Dingity, ding, ding, ding. SPY got the upside gap fill, which means we're coming up. So right here, that upside gap fill that I called out to you, said there was high probability. That hit, looking very, very solid, which means we are now... All right, we got that, so I don't need this anymore. So now we are coming up to the second major test. So we got the upside gap fill. That was obviously more probable. Now we're coming up to inverse condor here getting tested. So it'll be interesting to see how the market relates to that. And it's going to be interesting to see if the delta flow pops up and starts ripping from there, or if it ends up getting hit. So that's what I'll be watching. But to answer the question about Vanquish, it's in the same industry. It's SIMDA funded. You sign up, you take a test. If you pass the test, you get to trade. If you trade well, you get real money. But what's the difference between the two is Vanquish is in the world of options, while the Apex or the other ones are most likely in the world of futures. Why do you prefer Apex over Take Profit Trader? I prefer the one that is currently running the best deal. So it's not like I don't like Take Profit Trader. I mean, on the screen right now, I have 5 Take Profit Trader accounts. But right now in real time, Apex is running the best deal. So I don't necessarily think one is the end all be all and that's the only one I'm trading on. I'm going to trade on the one and talk about the one that is currently the best financial offering to you guys. There are things to they're all slightly different. It's not like they're carbon copies of each other. So you might want to shop around and look at the one that has like the nuanced rules that are best for you. I find that I should be trading the same way on all of them anyway. So I end up just buying the accounts that whenever I need to buy accounts, I'm buying the one that is currently the best offer. And basically for the next 1 day and 16 hours, Apex is the best offer. Last week, Take Profit had the best offer, which is why I told you guys about Take Profit. So it's just more of why do you need so many accounts? You don't need them. You don't have to do it. You could buy a singular account. But the argument is if you're trading well, okay, let's say you have on one account and you make $100. $100 is awesome. You just paid for your lunch and your dinner. But if you do the exact same trade on 20 accounts, now instead of having $100, you now have $2,000. So you don't need many accounts, but if you're trading well, you would obviously want that to be replicated on more money across more accounts. That's just, I guess, basic logic. And then obviously, if you're trading poorly, you would want less. So you pay a monthly fee for each account. Once again, that depends on the company. Right now on Vanquish, I don't, because I signed up for the one-time payment. So when I got my accounts, I paid the fee, and then I paid the one-time lifetime fee. So I don't pay anything. And right now you could do that again. You could either pay $85 a month or $100 for a lifetime. So the way that's how Apex is right now on Take Profit, I do pay a monthly fee. So they do different offerings here and there. It's never the same. Sometimes some are better, sometimes some are worse. But the major thing I've learned is the cost and the deal is never, ever really consistent. They're always trying to like outdo each other. And it's like a race to the bottom of offering the best deal. So right now on my accounts, I don't pay anything. I paid the one-time fee to take the test. I paid the one-time fee to upgrade to from eval to PA. And now I pay nothing. And I think in 10 years, I have to pay 1 cent per account if I still have the accounts in 10 years. So my point is that, no, I pay absolutely nothing right now. What copy trader do you use? I use Apex Trade Copier. I could show you what mine looks like if that helps. Is this on the screen right now? This is what mine looks like. See, I have my one leader account. I just put that in. I tell it what I'm trading. And then I literally just click on the button so the other ones copy. It's that simple. I honestly don't know if this is the best trade copier. It's just the one that I use. I signed up for it when I first got going and it worked for me. So I never even like cared to look into someone else's. I just literally just signed up for it and said, okay, it works. And I moved on with my life. What platform are you placing trades on, Apex, or does it have its own? I do mine on NinjaTrader. So Apex is the funding company, which is why this says Apex. This is why this says Take Profit. But then the brokerage that you're seeing right here is Ninja Trader. I like it just because it's actually a pretty robust trading platform. Its downside is that it doesn't have a mobile app, which like really pisses me off. But that's the major downside. If you're a person who's like, dude, wait, I have to trade on my phone, you might want to, instead of, there's going to be a Trade-Evate option. Not like, so when you sign up for Apex, you have one of two options. You could go the Trade-Evate route or you could go the Ninja route. I went the Ninja route because most of my trading is with you guys here and I'm on my PC and this is a very powerful trading platform. But if you're like, no, I know I have to trade from my phone, you might want to go the Trade-Evate route then instead of the Apex. Instead of the Ninja, but both are possible via Apex. So you're trading with other people's money, effectively. Wrench hate the Apex copy trader. I mean, I've had issues with it. I can't say that it's perfect, but most of the time when I have issues with the copy trader here, it's because I didn't update to the newest version. So most of the time when I do have a headache, it's a self-imposed headache and it's on me, if I'm being completely honest. Like 2 weeks ago when you guys saw that like things were messing up, it's because I didn't update to the newest version of Ninja. So that's like kind of on me. Can someone put money into Apex and have someone trade for them? I think that's against the rules, but I don't know how they would catch you. Do you prefer market or limit orders for entries? It's worth keeping account values as equal as possible. Oh, for Apex? No, I mean, limit's probably better, but I end up just doing market because sometimes it's so quick. And I find that if, like, in my mind, it kind of all equals out in the long term. Like some accounts get better fills, some accounts get worse fills within the tune of like 1 to 2 to 3 points. But then if you're trading a lot, in the long run, it just kind of all nets out. How does one become disciplined in putting in stop loss? Dude, I don't know. You're in real time asking a guy who's currently in that battle. You are currently like, Friday I had a good day. Monday I had a good day. Today I had a good day. You're talking to a person who's only been disciplined trading for the past 3 days. The 2 weeks before that, I was breaking every single rule in the book. I think that's a very personal thing of how to, I don't think there's a magic thing that we could all do and you're like, oh, I'm magically disciplined. I think that it's a very internal thing. It's a very personal thing of what you need to do is different per person. So you're talking to a dude who I've only been trading sober for 3 days now, if we're going to use that in terms of like being disciplined. Obviously, I'm not actually sober. I'm as drunk as could possibly be, but I'm trading sober. Like I'm in my disciplined sobriety run right now, but I'm only 72 hours into it. Matt, please do a video explaining to us dummies step by step what needs to set up in Apex. I mean, it's one step. You sign up, you buy the account, and then they email you a guide, right? Like you literally just hit sign up and you buy. I recommend the 50K account, but there are people who like the bigger accounts. There are people who like the smaller accounts. I'm a fan of the 50K, but that's not the end all be all. Obviously, just pick the one that is appropriate for you. But see, you could either do Trade-Evate. Pick Trade-Evate if you want to trade on your phone. Pick Rhythmic right here. So you'll see that there's a 50K account here, Rhythmic. That's for people who want to use Ninja and you don't need to trade on your phone. If you're like, no, I'm a phone trader, you're going to want to come down instead of the Rhythmic plan, you'd want to come down to the Trade-Evate plan. For the purpose of this, Rhythmic and Ninja should be thought of as synonymous. Like instead of it should say select your Ninja plan, and this one should say select your Trade-Evate plan. Obviously, the code Goonie is going to work on both. I like the 50K account, but Trade-Evate, this is the one you use if you know you're going to be trading on your phone. This is the one you're going to want to use if you're like, no, I trade on my computer, I don't need my phone, type of a thing. So I just want to call that out there. But as soon as you create an account and get it, they're going to email you the setup process, because you do have to connect your accounts here. Like there's a guide on how to do this connection. So I'm connected to the Apex data feed right now. So they email you a guide on how to do it. There's already videos on YouTube how to do it. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but as soon as you do it the first time, you're good to go. You're done after that point. So you're buying their money and they're showing you how to trade with a guide? No. It's just they're like, it's sim to fund it. Like you're using their funding to trade. They don't tell you a guide on how to trade. They're not a trading education company. They are a funding company. The guide is just on how to get connected, of how to set it up so you can actually trade it. But they don't tell you, like I said, they are not a trader education company, at least that I know of. They just are a funding company. So you have to sign up multiple times for multiple accounts. No, within your account, you can get up to 20 different trading accounts. So you would have, if you want 20, you could have 20, but if you want 2, you could also have 2. But you have one user account, and each user account can have up to 20 trading accounts. It's kind of frustrating that they limit us to 3-day trades in a week if your account's less than 25K. If you're starting to get good at this, oh, that's pattern day trading. That's like real regulation. Can you link either of those to TradingView? I don't know. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know why you would want to. This is an absurdly powerful trading platform. I haven't looked into it because I have no desire to do it. I use this for my charting because I really like the look of the charting. But in terms of like the power of this, like the way I like Ninja so much is it's a very, very powerful engine. I do like a lot of back testing and strategy testing and analysis of my own trades. So this is, so like, just to show you an example of like what you could do here that you wouldn't be able to do on TradingView. Here are my accounts. So right here, I just clicked on trade performance. Is this right? All right. So we could look, I think I started these on December 2nd. So we'll generate my trade report, generate. All right. We did that. Good. Well, we don't need that one. All right, cool. Generate. All right, did it select all the proper accounts? It did. All right, let me close that up. So I know it's a little bit small, and unfortunately I can't zoom in, but you could see my total net profit from December 1st to February 4th is $976,000. I've made $697,000 from going long, and I've made $279,000 from going short. Obviously, this is across all 20 accounts. You could see because I like checked them all together. Generally, I am right 70% of the time. My hit rate is 70%. My average winning trade is $337. Or actually, my average winning trade is 1,000. My average losing trade is 1,300. But based on the percentage of time I'm right, my average trade is a return of $336. Average time in the market, 52 minutes. Profit per month, $458,000. So it just gives you interesting breakdowns. I really like that. So for example, you could even do an analysis on yourself, like half hour of the day. So apparently I am bad at trading at 10:30, but I'm good at trading at 3 p.m. Like it just gives you those types of breakdowns, which this is just one thing of many. The thing I really like about Ninja is you could develop your own trading system. So right here, if you go to this new strategy builder, you can literally, and this isn't even something you have to know how to code to do. It's loading right now, but when it pops up, I'll show you. It's literally just like you click through a lot of boxes and you can create your own trading system. So right here, this is what it looks like, strategy builder, my custom strategy. And then you just literally add various things in. Okay, so like if we're at a new high, then I want you to go long. And then you could add all these rules and you're just setting up a bunch of if-then statements. And like you can see, all you have to do is click and select, and then you could create a trading system. Once again, that is something that's not possible on TradingView. So just various things like that. That's why I really like TradingView for charting. I think this is the best charting in the game, but for actual trade execution and account analysis and trading system development, I use other things. Matt, people in Reddit complain there are a lot of payout requests that were not approved. Do you have anything to say once you mention this? Yeah, I mean, you get denied if you break the rules. So there's a lot of people who break the rules, then they request a payout, and then they get denied, and then they get pissed off. Follow the rules. If you don't like the rules, don't use the service. Like it, to me, every single time I've been denied, it's because I know I broke a rule. And I also want to clarify, if you break a rule and you get a denied payment, nothing happens. You're just denied payment. You don't lose your account. You just have to trade for another cycle, another 8 trading days without breaking the rule. So I don't know. People on Reddit complain, but they're probably already people who like they broke rules. Like I don't understand. I really don't understand the point of complaining. They'll sit there and be like, well, I did this and this and this. It's like, dude, well, you broke 4 different rules. So like, what'd you expect them to do? Every single time, I can tell you this, every single payment cycle that I followed the rules, I got my payment. Every single time I didn't follow the rules, they denied my payment. But even in those events that I got denied, they never took my accounts. I just had to trade for another 8 days and not break any rules. And then my payout was approved anyway. What is one of the silliest rules in your opinion? The silliest rule. Well, they've changed a lot recently. So at one point in time, they got rid of the dollar cost averaging. I thought that was stupid because a lot of people like to dollar cost average. So I thought that was a silly rule, but they did get rid of dollar cost. Well, they banned dollar cost averaging and now they put it back. So I think that's smart. But at one point I was really, really against that. The 5-to-1 risk to reward, that's pretty fair. The 30%. I'm not the biggest fan of the 30% consistency. I just, the buffer thing too really frustrated me at first, where your largest unrealized drawdown, there's 2 different 30% consistency rules. So 30% on an individual day with your profit, like whatever, I guess that's kind of fair. Like I don't really love it, but I don't think that's the most unfair one. The one that I don't like is no singular trade. Not talking about a day. No singular trade can have an unrealized drawdown that is more than 30% of your total profit, which when your account grows, that's completely fair. But when your account is new, that's a really, really hard number to stick to. Trailing drawdown sucks. Yeah, but the easy way around that is you don't be like a trailing trader, a trend following trader, just have targets. That's how I got around that one. So at first I thought that was like kind of BS, but then I just like for that moment in time, I switched up my trading style because it would go up and then it trails down. So the way to not do the trail down is I always had set targets, like set target, set target, set target. So that's how I worked around that. I do remember being frustrated with that first, but then I just altered my trading style a little bit. The one I like, the rule that I just don't like, because I think it makes it very, very difficult, is no singular trade can be more than 30% of your profit, like that drawdown. But once again, I broke that rule. When these accounts that are in front of you right here, the very first payout on all of these 20 accounts right here, it was actually denied. And it was being denied because I broke that rule. But once again, if you get it denied, that just means they're not going to pay you out in that cycle. It just means you have to trade for another cycle. So when you break a rule, it's not like the end all be all and you lost the game. Some of these rules, when you break them, they just make you trade for another cycle. For a person who's been on the fence of sim to funded, this convo has been really helpful. Yeah, I mean, and obviously if you have more questions, I'm willing to share my insights and my opinions, but it's basically this. If you look around, there's going to be people who really like it. There's going to be people who really dislike it. And a lot of the times, whatever your bias is positive or negative, it relates to your experience on it. And more than your experience, it relates to did you make money or did you not make money? So here's the God's honest truth. Trading in itself is difficult. For some reason, there's people on the internet that believe trading's really difficult. So then if I do sim to fund trading, I'm going to get mad if it's also difficult. No, trading is still difficult. You're still trading. Obviously, there's people and certain trading styles do well with the rules. Certain trading styles don't do well with the rules. So that's more of like a personalized thing. For people, okay. If you are not a profitable trader in your own accounts, whether we're talking about stocks, options, crypto, futures, you shouldn't be trading your own account. I think that this methodology is a phenomenal way to you figuring out your own trading strategy. And the reason I think it's phenomenal, the reason why I really like it, is because it minimizes your risk. For you to survive as a trader, for you to be successful as a trader, you have to have enough runway to like survive all the downturns and the learning process. This is a way for you to learn about trading with lower market tuition cost. So is it easy? No. No one listening to me right now should think this is easy, but trading in itself is not easy. What I could tell you is if you're not successful here, you're not going to be successful in real trading, which means, okay, This, especially as day trading. Swing trading is a completely different thing. You can't swing trade here. This is all day trading. This, I should have prefaced this. This is all for day trading. I want to be very clear there. This is for day trading, not swing trading. Swing trading is a different game. If you are not successful here, you're not going to be successful in day trading to begin with. So you might as well figure it all out here where it costs you less money, where you're minimizing your risk, because the less risk you have, that means you're going to have longer to learn about this game and the world's largest casino of trading in itself. So I want to be explicitly clear on that concept, that it is not easy, but yet trading itself is not easy. If you're attempting to be a day trader of any form, this is a lower risk, a lower capital intensive way for you to learn about trading. And then if you do well there and you're profitable and you're getting payouts, great. Use the money to go fund your own account. But this allows you to stay in the game for longer. I hope that makes sense. But you're losing other people's money. I don't understand. Is that take profit? What do you mean losing other people's money? It's called sim defunded. Sim, as in simulated, as in paper accounts. Paper, simulated, fake money. I don't know. What's another synonym for simulated? That's why it's called sim to funded. Sim is short for simulated. Simulated as in not real, as in paper money, as in orders not actually being sent to the market. But on that note, if you do very, very well, they can upgrade you to a live trading account. Been watching you for a while and would really like to learn how to trade SPX options. Do you have any intro videos of this? We trade SPX options in the Discord all the time. One of the main things I do is premium selling. So I think if you're a short-term options trader, your odds dramatically jump up if you sell premium rather than buying premium. Never used Twitch, didn't like the sound of the name. Also, fun fact, because it tracks cookies only and not IP bans. If you log into a banned account and the other account logs into the same device, the other account gets banned. On Twitch? Seriously? That's crazy. So you are trading paper money or what? Yes, that is simulated. That's the sim part. How's NVIDIA look for the rest of the day? NVIDIA's flat right now. I would expect the options to be flat. Oh, huge pop in NVIDIA. What just happened there? Someone dumped their puts. So that's not a bullish bet, but it's a big lack of a bearish bet. So someone who was betting against NVIDIA just got the hell out. They just dipped on a giant put position. The calls are flat. The calls ripped all the way up until 1010. Since then, flat, flat, flat. So I'm not seeing bullish flow, but I am seeing a giant lack of bearish flow. Big put position closed out on NVIDIA. Broadcom's actually looking really good today too. Look at all these calls being bought. So no one's touching puts and people are just buying calls, buying calls, buying calls. It did go flat around 1030, but overall the trend on the day is pretty good. Tesla has not been looking good. Tesla, the call started to get sold at 10:01 all the way down to 10:34. So there was a half hour of calls just getting sold on Tesla. It's picking up a little bit right now, but it's not as strong as some other names that we've seen. Definitely not as strong as some other names. I'm still watching this 64. It's this obvious. This is the big resistance. This is honestly what everyone should be paying attention to. We got the upside gap fill. This is the big resistance. If we can break and hold this, that sets up another 40-point move in the SPX, which would actually bring the SPY all the way to 605. That is in play today. If we can break and hold 6,040, which is equivalent to about 602-ish. Maybe it's in the realm of the SPY being at 602. That's big resistance though. It's huge. In fact, it's the biggest resistance on the options chart right now, for sure. So, and the way SPX is trending is not in a way, if I'm going to be completely honest, to beat it. So the Mag 7 is absurdly strong, but to take out this resistance right here that I have marked out, basically the closing value from Friday, for us to take that out successfully, you're going to want to see the delta flow be completely different because it's actually been kind of downtrending ever since 1010. Not strong, and it's staying high just because the Mag 7 flow, this big pop right here was all those puts being closed out on NVIDIA. The Mag 7 flow, tech is strong right now, without a doubt. Without a doubt, tech is strong. And that's why you have the Qs just slowly but surely grinding to the upside. But for this party to get going, you would need two things to happen. You would need SPX to get above and hold above 6,040. We're currently 10 points below that. We're hanging it out right at the upside gap fill. You would need us to get above and hold above that. And you would also simultaneously need the delta flow to once again be positive. Pretty much the same flow we saw from 945 to 1010. You would want to see that again. All right. I'm confused. So all this money you win and lose is all sim. I don't know how to explain this more. Am I explaining this poorly? Like, am I not explaining it right? Because trading with Mike, you and I are just not understanding at all. I don't know what to tell you. You take a test on a sim account. If you do well on that test, you go from an eval to a PA. If you do well on the PA, you can request real money. They have sent me $120,000 in payouts in the month of January alone. And for the life of the accounts, they've sent me $160,000. Real money, like actual USD. I don't know. Someone else give a whirl explaining it to Mike here, because I don't know another way to say it. All right, let's go to the 5 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute. 5 minute. All right, here we go. All right, we are literally just dancing around this upside gap fill. So you have the SPY right there at 601. You have the Qs hanging out at 524. It's all going to come down to this. So I'm just going to keep watching the options flow. SPX not giving me exactly what I wanted. I thought there was a bit of a recovery here from 1037 to 1040. That was quickly faded. What we have going on is some calls are being monetized. You can see every time this green line dips, that is 0 DTE calls being sold. So they're either being sold to monetize or they're being sold to create a position. But regardless, as the green candles drop, that is 0 DTE calls being sold, whether to open a position or close a position. And then on the bottom here, you see the blue dropping, which means people are they're buying puts, they're long puts, once again, to potentially create or get out of a position. But regardless, this is removing positive delta from the system, and this is adding negative delta to the system. So when you remove positive delta and you add negative delta, that's the old twofer. That is the old 2x of delta just dropping. So this little flow that we've had from 1040 till now, I'm not the biggest fan of it. This is not bullish flow. So you're going to need that clearly to turn around. And the Mag 7 is looking way better. I mean, all those puts closed out. People were buying calls. Starting at 1045, there were some calls being monetized right here, but no one's touching puts. But you could see some calls did get monetized. But overall, with respect to the trend of the day, we're still bottom left to top right. So what I'll be looking for, and in terms of like, okay, getting excited, and maybe we can get back up to 60-40 here, what I'll be looking for is really for these puts on the bottom. I want that to go up because that means people are getting out of their puts, they're selling puts. And then I also would love for this green to go up because that means people are going long 0 DTE calls. So that's what I'll be looking for in the short term, is for the green to go up, the orange to go up, and basically I want all four of these colored ones to go up with price. So right now, even though price just popped, the options didn't react, or if they did react, it's in a very, very slow manner because SPX just went from 6024 to 6027. It pumped 3 points, but the options remained unchanged. And right here, if you're looking at the Mag 7, they're just flat. Puts are flat, calls are flat. So we're kind of getting into that quiet portion of the day. We're very much getting into the quiet portion of the day. Just out of curiosity, what are your total operational costs between things like information services, Spot Gamma, TradingView, Apex, charting? That's a good question. Probably right around $1,000 a month for all the things. But I have so many subscription services to all these different data providers. I have Spot Gamma. I have GexSpot. I have Gamma Labs. I have Convex Value. TradingView, Webull Data, Ninja Data, it goes on and on and on. And then that's not even counting the YouTube side of it, where we have like Adobe Premiere Pro and like the Adobe suite. So it's probably about $1,000 a month for just the trading side of stuff that I buy. And then it's a little bit, it's probably 50% more. It's probably another $500 a month when I consider like all the production stuff for like the show and whatnot. Yeah, about 1.5K. I only know this because I was recently doing my taxes. Recently looking at my taxes. All right, let's go back to this. Someone said they wanted AMD. They yelled it at me. AMD, pretty strong up until 1020, giving a bit back right now. The strongest semiconductor flow I've been seeing is Broadcom. Broadcom has the strongest semiconductor flow of the day. What about Chaos' salary? $500 a month? Wait, you guys think I pay Chaos? That's absolutely... Why would I pay Chaos? I keep him locked up in my basement, folks. He's just in like a musty, like there's always like water dropping. There's probably some mold. He's just chained to a wall. Wait, you guys actually think I pay Chaos? That's insane. Why would he's just, I keep him in the basement. I give him Cheez-Its every so often and he's good. He's good. I think all of the work he does is fair pay for living in my basement. I think it's honestly a fair trade-off. Can you explain SPX versus SPY? I saw something about cash settlement is better for SPX, but don't understand what that means. What do you like better? SPX is way better. It's not even close. SPX is in a European style contract, which means that it's cash settled, while SPY is an American style contract, which means that it's physically settled. So the reason why SPX is so much better than SPY is because when it's cash settled, you're not going to get margin called at the end of the day if it's close to your strike, because the brokerage isn't carrying the risk of having to deliver the underlying. They just do the financial difference, the actual true number difference between where it settles and what your strike was at. So if you're in a situation where like, dude, I'm getting called at 3:30, like let's just say your broker's calling your position, especially if you're trading spreads, it's because of a thing referred to as pin risk, PIN. Feel free to search it, but that only exists with American style contracts. It does not exist with European style contracts. So if you're a spread trader, and you're whatever, like debit spreads, credit spreads, anything like that, or anything, just like if it's close and you're like, dude, wait, they're margin calling me and they're telling me it's just because it's too close, that only exists with American style contracts. It does not exist with European style. So European style, there's not many of them. It's SPX, MDX, RTY, VIX, XSP, and I think there's one more in there, but it's basically the major indices. There's no European style contracts for individual equities such as like Apple or Nvidia or Tesla. Those are all American. So if I make 100K, I stay with 90K from the funding and picks. Does that mean they give you more than $1 million or something? I don't understand that question at all. But per individual trading account, which remember, you could have 20 of them per user account, the first 25K is yours. So if you're trading on max accounts, 20 trading accounts, the first 25K is yours. The first $500,000 is yours, and you don't have to split it with them at all. And then after that, it's a 90-10 split where you keep 90% and they keep 10%. I don't know. I feel like I'm going in circles here. I don't know if I'm explaining this poorly, but there's like, it's right here. If you have more, I suppose, complicated questions about like the consistency rule, this, that, or the other thing, yeah, let's talk about it. But I mean, these questions, like all you have to do is read the first sentence. Receive 100% of the first 25,000 per account and 90% beyond that. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just explaining it poorly because the amount of questions that people are still somehow having at this point, I don't understand. just go to the website. You still drinking that sangria? Dude, I'm about to, Chris. I'm about to. I was trading SPX credit spreads when I closed the contracts. Fidelity closed one side a split second before the other side. Had a $1.4 million trade call. Had to call Fidelity and they removed it. Yeah, because remember, the spread in itself is what protects you. So if you lose one leg of the spread, it can get dangerous. That's why you should not leg out. You should, if you want to create the position individually, have at it. But when you're closing a spread, you should close it as a pair, not individually, because then you have like that risk. Not everyone is smart enough to still have up their Xmas lights. I like it. I think it's very seasonal. I think I could run this for an entire another year and then I just don't have to put them up. Are you doing anything for the Rumble earnings? I don't know at this moment in time, but my plan is the same as before of going down and doing the interview with Chris. But that is not really confirmed, but that's just my base plan at the moment. You didn't answer my question before. What is money? Oh, dude, this is a great question. Money is a bullshit construct made, like, it was only invented to keep you down. I'm telling you, man, money's fake. This is probably the best question that we've gotten all day. It is 100% fake. It is a mental construct. It means nothing. It has no real value. It's just something to keep you down from like living your own life. It really is. I heard if you enter another code, it'll get you 80% off every month. That's not true. This just shows you maybe you shouldn't believe everything you believe on the internet. I tried to close both sides at the same time. Fidelity said it was a computer glitch and then laughed about it. That sounds really weird. Can we sign up with your code but wait to go through the motions if not ready? Of course. Of course you can. It's not, they don't put pressure on you to like all of a sudden trade in like consecutive days or not. That's another common question I get is like, do you have to make this profit consecutively? No, you could trade one day and then take 2 weeks off if you wanted to. These accounts that I have right here, these accounts, I could not trade for a month if I wanted to. There's no pressure, like time related pressure. Of course, when you do trade, there's trade related pressure. But like if I wanted to literally just not trade for a month, okay, there's no problem. You could trade every other day. You could trade once a week. You could trade every single day and then take a week off and then come back the next week. There's no any related rules to trading consecutively. Matt, could you do a thorough MSTR options flow and stock price change after earnings historically? No. I just don't know that much about MSTR. I follow it, but I'm not an MSTR expert. The stocks that I track on a daily basis are Tesla, Nvidia, Palantir. Well, it depends if I'm active trading or investing. I guess we should split that up. But MSTR, I'll look at it, but I'm not like up to date on its fundamentals because it's basically just doing what Bitcoin's doing. If you know what Bitcoin's doing, you know what MSTR is doing because 95% of the company is literally just the movement of Bitcoin. So to me, if you're paying attention to Bitcoin, you already know what's going on with the MSTR. Passed an account yesterday or so. I thought I had to make the trade on a sim. I made the trade on a sim account. Well, you have to make it on the sim account to pass the eval. Except for Take Profit Trader, they have max 1 week activity. Oh, I didn't know that. I appreciate you sharing that. I thought they were all kind of along the lines of you could do what you want. Really? It's 1 week of inactivity? That seems really short. What if you're just sick for a week? Is it 1 week or is it 1 month? Take Profit Trader inactivity. Terms of service. Are you sure it's 1 week in inactivity? I can't quickly find it with a Google search. I guess I'll take your word for it right now, but 1 week? That seems crazy, crazy low, doesn't it? Like, you could just be on a trip. You could be sick. I mean, hell, where I grew up, sometimes you'd just be without the internet for a week. That one, okay, Apex doesn't have that rule. I was unaware of that. Would take really one a week. It's a new rule they added after they removed the daily stop loss. Oh, I'm not a fan of that. What if you just don't see a good setup within a week? Just place a trade and get right out. Yeah, I mean, you could do a little quick scalp trade thing, obviously, but still, like, what if you're traveling and don't have internet? What if you decide to go camping for a week? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Not a fan. All right, we are clearly in just like this sideways session right now. So I already laid out the levels for you, but once again, just to show you, we're pretty much at that upside gap fill. If we can break above and hold above 6,040, which is roughly the SPY at 602, then I think we have another $4 shot in us if we can hold that. But I need to be clear here. It's a huge level. It is a huge gamma level, so it's going to act as resistance. So that's the breakout level. And actually, we do have support right here at 6025. So I'll be watching 6025 as support. Look at 6040 as resistance. If that breaks, we're talking about 6080 with a potential pit stop at 6070. So watching those, obviously, if you have a spot gamma account, just watch the options flow, trade with the options flow. The Mag 7 has been very strong, which would make me remain bullish on the day. Folks, I hope you're crushing it. Obviously, feel free to check out Apex if you have questions. Hit me up in the Discord, DM me on Twitter, email me, media@MatthewKohrs.com. I hope to see you in the Discord. Remember, sign up on Locals to get access to the Discord. All you have to do is put in that code GOONIE, GOONIE, to get your first month for free. I'm going to go hang out with those cool cats and kittens for the rest of the day. At the end of the day, after the market closes, I will make an update video. The fact that you guys have been turning up to watch those videos, it means the world to me. If you have any criticism of how you want those to be a little different or improved, or cover one thing that I'm not covering, or if I'm covering one thing that you don't care about, please reach out to me. The entire reason, not only do we do this live show, but the exact same reason that we do those daily updates is for the benefit of all you guys. So if you want me to take it in a new direction, whatever that is, feel free to reach out to me, and we're going to do exactly what the community wants us to do. So be on the lookout for that to be coming out a little bit later on. That's what I have for you right now. Good luck with the rest of the trading day. Currently, the bulls are in control, but just make sure that they actually remain in control if you're holding that position. Don't let your stop losses get out of hand. I appreciate all the good vibes. Love you guys so much. I'll catch you later. Peace.